Welcome to DeFi Crypto today. Our topic today is Beethoven X on the Phantom Network and how we can get the best possible return on stablecoins. This is a very interesting protocol. I talked about it a little bit in the past, and it's worth revisiting from time to time because all kinds of new stuff happening. On the main page, they explain several of their new pools. Here, we're going to have a look at some of them. And they explain why Beethoven X is awesome and so on. And all kinds of updates. So, yeah, check it out. There's a lot of good stuff that happens on this project. Okay. Lots of good pools. And it's based on Balancer. Balancer is one of my favorite DeFi projects. Balancer has the best safety rating of all DeFi, okay, according to DeFiSafety.com, which we're going to have a look at in a moment. Beethoven X itself does not have the same safety rating, unfortunately, as Balancer for other reasons, but they're using the exact same code, okay? So, just be aware of that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at the farms and the pools, okay? And we're going to make a small investment in one of the pools that has the stablecoin pool. And that offers really very exciting interest right now. So you click on invest or farm at the top and brings us to this page here. So here you have some featured pools. This is the one that I'm interested in at the moment. Okay, it's called One God Between Two Stables. So each pool has a very funny name. Okay, and it's composed of multiple coins. Some are stable coins, some are not stable coins, but you can select stable coins if that's what you're looking for. Right now, if we don't select stable coins, we can see that they have a big bunch of pools and we can load more. They've got tons and tons and tons of stuff. Okay. Now, if you're looking for good yield, you can sort by APR. Okay. We've got this one. It's called Explosive Shrapnel. Exploding Shrapnel. It's got about 1,000% APR. Be aware that when the APR is super, super high, like this, there's a risk, okay? Probably some impermanent loss risk. Probably, since in this case what we have inside is 20% RAV Phantom and 80% Shrap. I'm not very familiar with the Shrap protocol, but it might explode in your face, okay? If the price of the Shrap token tanks, you could have a significant loss, and not just impermanent loss, actual loss, okay? So be aware of that. Also, it's not a very big pool. It only has $95,000 in it, so consider that it's a very risky pool. So the protocol, you have to be able to identify the various risks that happen in DeFi. You have the protocol risk, okay? So this protocol, Beethoven, uses code that came from Balancer, which has a very, very good safety rating. It's been audited multiple times, and even has fund for hackers to check the code, and they pay them if they find bugs, okay? So it's got a bug bounty, right? So the code from Balancer is probably fine, okay? Now, there could be other issues on the server where Beethoven is set up. That's another kind of risk. And then you have the actual tokens that you're invested in. Okay, so in this case, each token could go up or down in value, and one could go up against another one, and so on. And that creates risk and potential losses. Okay, so be aware of that. Now, as I always say, don't put all your money on one single protocol. And in a protocol like this, since they give you a lot of choices, you could put your money in various pools, not put everything in a single pool. Okay, again, that diversifies your risk, that reduces the chances of something that you lose all your money if something goes wrong. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, so today I'm more interested in stablecoins. So we're going to select stablecoin pools, and we still are sorted by APR. So the top one right now is the same that we saw up here. One got between two stables. So you have two stable coins. You got USDC and DEI, which is a relatively new stable coin made by the Deus protocol. Okay. Now, it's a very popular pool. It's got $53 million in it, and it's giving us a very high 44.38% APR at the moment. That's another risk. The risk is that the APR is going to go down over time. Okay, that happens all the time. Okay, the rates that are displayed here are not fixed by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, they fluctuate according to supply and demand. Okay, also right now you're getting boosts. So the rate, if you put your mouse over the little star at the end, what you see is that you're getting 0.42% of swap fees, about 18.63% of Beats reward, and 25.31% of Deus rewards. So you're getting rewards from swap fees, you're getting rewards from the Beethoven protocol, and you're getting rewards from the Deus protocol. Okay, and the rewards are in Beats and in Deus, which means that those will fluctuate in value. Yet another risk. Okay, if the price of the Beats token tanks, you're going to lose value. If the price of the Deus token tanks, you're going to lose value. So be aware of all those risks. It's still very attractive right now. For how long? I don't know. But right now it looks pretty good. Now, we're going to have a quick look at, before we make the investment here, because I want to show you how it works. We can have a look at several other stablecoin pools. They've got what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different stablecoin pools, which is quite nice. It's a good selection. Now here you've got two different UST tokens. They were created, one by the Wormhole and another one by the Alexar protocol. Okay, and they created this pool here, which gives also very, very nice 24.34%. Okay, so that's something that you might want to consider because of the very high rate, and it's UST against UST. So there's not going to be any impermanent loss whatsoever. Here you've got what they call the Guchin Chi. So you got basically three tokens, USDC, DAI, and Mimetic, or also known as MAI. Okay, those are three stable coins giving you 18.86% right now, which is really nice. The point is you want to try... Why are we looking at stable coins? The first thing is market conditions are very unstable right now. Okay, there's very high inflation. Interest rates are going to go up. The Federal Reserve in the United States just rose the interest rates 0.25%, and they said that for as long as inflation is going to be very high, they're going to raise interest rates every time they have a meeting. So every couple months, there's probably going to be an interest rate hike. When this happens, typically the financial markets tank. Okay, so the stock market is probably going to go down. The crypto market is probably going to go down because of that. Also, we've got the war in Ukraine. That brings a lot of instability, a lot of uncertainties. And people tend to seek refuge in some assets like gold and so on. and they're going to sell other assets that they find are more risky. Okay, so a lot of tokens that vary in value might go down. Right now, the market is pretty good. The market is going up this week for whatever reason. People are optimistic right now, but that may or may not last. I just read articles, okay, that predict a very, very bad recession, possibly this year. Okay, so again, it pays to be safe. Personally, I like to keep about, in markets like these, I like to keep about 50% of my crypto portfolio in stablecoins, but I don't like to have them sit idle. So I deposit them to earn interest. And I want to earn more interest than inflation, than the rate of inflation. I want to beat inflation. Inflation in the US right now is almost 8%. That was just announced a couple weeks ago. And that was for February, just before the war started in Ukraine. Now, guess what? There's all kinds of sanctions on Russia because of that war. The price of, it's going to be more difficult to buy oil from Russia, and it's going to be nearly impossible to get any wheat and food from Ukraine and Russia as well. And Ukraine and Russia are the bread baskets of Europe. So those two countries used to export tons and tons and tons of food to Europe, because Europe cannot produce enough food to sustain itself. So they have to import all of that. Now they can't get it from Ukraine because Ukraine is at war, and they can't get it from Russia because of the sanctions. So what do you think is going to happen to food prices? Well, they're going to shoot up. Okay? So again, inflation is probably going to jump for March, okay, when we get the data in April. Expect that inflation is going to be higher than 8%. I'm thinking maybe 9, even possibly 10%, okay? It could be pretty bad. And if it jumps up like this, very high, there could be a market crash in the stock market around the time they're going to announce it. Sometimes they know ahead. Sometimes they know they do it right on the announcement date. But expect turbulence. Okay, markets are going to go a little bit crazy around the time they're going to announce the new inflation figures, and the central banks will want to raise interest rates again and impose all kinds of restrictions and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, in order to preserve your capital, it's a good idea to have a large amount of your crypto assets in stablecoins. And that's why we're looking at these stablecoin portfolios right now. All right. So, you've got several of the portfolios, actually almost all of them except the last one, are all beating inflation, which is super nice. Check them out. So the one we're going to play with today is this one. It has the USDC and the DAI stablecoin. So let's click on it. Now make sure that you are connected on MetaMask using the Phantom network. So you need to be on Phantom. Let's turn it on. All right, so we're on Phantom, and make sure you have some Phantom tokens to pay for gas. All right, it won't work without gas. All right, so you need one of the two tokens. So if you've got USDC in your wallet, you're fine. That's what I have right now. I don't have any DAI token, but it will swap them automatically for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to invest. I don't want to invest all of this though. So let's see, can I write the amount? Okay. All right, this is where it is. So we're going to put $100 because I'm testing this, and it should swap the tokens automatically. Invest and pool. 'Pool. 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 ' Investment preview, price impact, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go. All right, so confirm that. After the third try, it worked. So let's confirm and see what happens. I don't know why I got that error at all. Now what it's going to do, it's going to split the $100. Well, we got the fireworks and everything between USDC and DE. So it's going to take 100, split it in two, and we're going to have $50 in USDC and $50 in DE token. All right, so I think it's finished. All right. Now, see, it's more or less what happened. Now my pool balance, I have 50.41 USDC, which is worth 50.46, and I've got 49.57 DE tokens, and that is worth 49.47 at the moment. So there was like 7 cents that were taken as a commission to process all this. Okay. All right. So this is my investment as it stands right now in this pool. If I wanted to withdraw, I just have to click the withdraw button. Okay, and follow the prompts, and the money is going to go back into my wallet. Now you can choose, typically you can choose to receive all in USDC or all in DE, or you can have it split. It's up to you. All right, so let's go back to the Invest Farm page. Okay, and let's see if it's showing my portfolio or not. Okay, it doesn't okay, we have to click here, my investments. All right, so if you click on that tab, it shows all the investments that you've got. All right, so right now that's what we invested on in this one pool, and we're expecting to get around 44%. As I said, the rates will fluctuate, likely to go down, but as long as we're beating inflation, I'm happy. Okay, that's the whole point for me. Okay, I don't want to have my stablecoins sitting idle and not earning any interest. All right, so if we check the documentation about audits for this for Beethoven, they say that Beethoven X uses Balancer version 2 contracts verbatim, meaning they're identical. They haven't changed one line of code. Okay, which have completed several full audits and have comprehensive bug bounty programs. So the code by itself is probably fine and doesn't have a lot of risk. However, if we check on DeFi safety, Beethoven X has an overall score of 63% out of 100, which is a little bit low. The passing grade is 70%. So technically it's a fail, although I don't think it's that big a deal because they're using a very solid code. However, according to DeFi safety, the documentation is lacking quite a bit. Testing could be a lot better. Security could be better as well. So keep that in mind before you invest, okay, and see if you consider that the risk is acceptable or not. Now, just to give you an example, comparison. So if we look at Balancer has a 100% safety rating at DeFi safety. It's the only protocol that managed to get 100%. Everyone else got a little bit less or a lot less than 100%. So if we have a look, just to give you an idea. So we got Grim Finance managed to get a 0%. So yeah, that's because they got hacked. They got hacked, and that killed them. If you look at they were failing across the board, okay? And because they had a security incident in December, they lost 24% as a penalty, okay? So DeFi safety is pretty tough when it comes to ratings. Okay, they don't care who you are. Okay, if you fail their requirements, they're gonna give you a really bad score. All right. So when you're looking for a protocol to invest in, I strongly recommend you check DeFi safety. They don't have all the protocols, but they've got about 200 of them that have been rated. Okay. And you can sort them here, let's see, by highest ratings. Okay. So, yeah, essentially, you want the green ones. Okay. The green ones are the best ones. Try to find protocols that you like in these. Okay. And you should be pretty good in terms of safety. Okay. In terms of the actual protocol safety. Doesn't mean you cannot lose money on this. If you invest in a pool and that has tokens that tanked, okay, yeah, you're gonna lose money. Okay, if the tokens go down in value, yeah, you're gonna lose some money. But at least you have a bit more assurance that the code and the protocol and the safety and the testing have been done. Okay, if you are in the green zone like here. So all these protocols manage to get pretty good ratings. So as you can see, there's lots of good ones. There are lots of good ones from time to time. And it's worth checking because some protocols that are very popular didn't get a good safety rating at all. Okay, we're talking about Wonderland, for instance, which is very popular. It totally failed with a score of only 22%. So that's pretty bad. The code and the team had the best rating, but they're failing across the board for the rest. Okay, documentation sucks, and there's no testing, no security, and access control totally sucks. So again, I keep telling people, yes, Wonderland is very risky. And that's what I mean. Okay, that's what I mean. There's a lot of risk involved here. And this is just at the protocol level. And it doesn't even reflect the market risk, okay, of the tokens. So check this thing, DeFi safety, before you make any investment in anything. Okay, very, very important. Now, I wanted to give you a quick look. Since we invested in the DE token, I wanted to show you that it's a stablecoin, so it's very close to $1. It fluctuates a little bit, so sometimes it's, a penny above, a penny below, or a fraction of a penny above or below. But pretty much it stays within an acceptable range. And it's coming from these guys here at Deus Finance. So you can deposit and borrow and all kinds of financial stuff, and they're available on multiple blockchains as well. All right, so that's it for this video. If you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Download the free book. All you have to do is put your name, your email address, hit the submit button, and then you get a big fat button that says download the free book. If you miss that button, that's okay. We're going to send you an email with another big fat button that says download the free book. And if you don't want to download the free book, you go to Amazon. You pay $5.99 to Jeff Bezos, and Jeff will send me $1. See ya.